Ready? Om Tab kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriditam kalmasapaham Shravanamangalam Shri Madatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Buridayanaha. The nectar of thy words is the life for those who are scorched by the world. The words which have been uttered by the knowers of truth, which wipe out sins, the very hearing of which is beneficial, which are beautiful, pleasing to the ears, pleasing to the hearts, which are inexhaustible. Those who recount them on the earth are the givers of plenty. Om, peace, peace, peace. Stories of the Vedanta Monks. Swami Saradeshananda. This Swami was a disciple of Holy Mother and attendant of Holy Mother. His reminiscences are very inspiring and very practical. Last week, we learned from him what happens in deep meditation. He talked about his own reminiscences, his own experience, which is recorded in our last class. Please listen carefully. Swami was talking to his attendant. If your cloth or anything is torn, please stitch it, sew it properly so that, and repair it. He quoted, stitch in time, stitch in time saves 9. Yeah? Stitch once, it saves 9. I didn't know. See, I was listening to, I was Googling it. What is he says about Jesus. Did Jesus say it or not? Then in the Bible I found somewhere it is there, but I don't know whether Jesus ever said it. I don't remember. Anyhow, he mentioned. But the brahmachari said, but Thakur did not like it. He says, if you have a torn cloth, that is a daridre lakkhan, it is a sign of poverty. Sri Ramakrishna did not like it. Then Swami said, Sri Ramakrishna said to the devotees, not for the monks. Moreover, I saw Holy Mother stitch my clothes on other clothes. So shall I follow Holy Mother or Sri Ramakrishna? Then Swami said that Thakur said that thing to different people at different places, different circumstances. But Ami Maki dekhechi tini but what I saw in Holy Mother, that I tell people. But listen, it will be good to you. I shall not tell you what is not proper. I shall never forget an evening. In his room, there is a blue light was on. I finished my task, and these brahmacharis used to sleep in his room in another cot. But I was seated in my cot and I was repeating my mantra. Then 10-15 minutes passed and I noticed that he was breathing very heavily. Then I opened my eyes, I saw by sighing, he was trying utmost to get up. He was trying to elbow on the bed and he was trying to get up. You will have to understand, he was in his late 80s, early 90s. I was watching him. But he could not get up. Then he was looking at me intently. Again he tried, again he failed. Then he was exhausted, lying down, he was watching Sri Ramakrishna's face. Remember, it is evening. Just seeing Sri Ramakrishna, he was with folded hands, he was looking at Sri Ramakrishna. I could not stay in my meditation, so I went near him and asked, Maharaj, what are you doing? He could not realize that I should come and ask that thing. Could you help me to get up and sit? Tolo, tule amay bosao. Lift me and make me sit. You see, I saw you were seated and meditating, so my desire came to sit down and meditate. It is my many years practice. Please help me to sit down. Only a few months I moved to his room and I saw he used to repeating mantra while lying down. But later on he could not sit. I tried to lift him up and sit. But I found that he was about to fall. I thought he may fall down from the bed on the floor. So I grabbed him again. Please hold me, so that sitting I can meditate for some time. Then I saw that he is down, he was from the front, he was falling like this. Then he said, could you sit me on the floor so that I have a pillow behind the wall so that I can sit? No way! I cannot lift you up, and if you fall, I will be responsible for your accident. I shall not do it. You know, I found somebody was hitting my knees. People will blame me if I help you to sit down on the floor. Like a little boy, again lay down on the bed and repeating mantra. You know, when we read these things, we find what is called force of habit. Force of habit. You see, do you know what it is called? It is called momentum. The English word is called momentum. In the early days, if you practice and practice and practice, in old age, it will come automatically to your life. That we find in this spiritual life of these great monks. Momentum. Every morning, the all monks would come and salute him. Maharaj, all monks come and bow down to you, but I do not do it. Shall I be deprived from your blessing? Maharaj said, You know, the people come here to bow down to me every day. I do not like it. To you are serving me, that is enough. You will not have to ask a blessing from me. It will come automatically to you. I remember once it happened. I bowed down to Swami Gambhiranandaji. What do you want? Nothing. Not even blessings. That you are showering all the time, I will not have to ask. Look, that boy is... You are showering that thing all the time, I will not have to ask, Maharaj. Service is a very difficult task. Not that I am always perfect. Sometimes I may make some mistake. Sometimes one day I said that, sometimes I make mistakes. Will it be very bad for my spiritual life? So one day I expressed my feeling to him so that he may not take any offense for my mistakes. Maharaj laughed and said, you should try so that you may not make any mistake. But don't think all those things. If I took offense, could you serve me? Look, in my life everything is ashirvad, blessing. There is no curse in my inside. Only blessings. I only think good and welfare of all. Sometimes nobody is perfect. Sometimes we make mistakes. That doesn't mean anything. Once it happened, a letter came and I found a stamp which was not stamped, postal stamp. So I was trying to separate that stamp from that envelope. He scolded me. It is a theft. It will be considered as theft. Never do this type of things. A brahmachari wrote a letter about his problem in the monastery. So Swami wrote him back, আশ্রমের অধ্যক্ষের অনুগত থাকবে এবং সর্বদা তাহার আদেশ মানিয়া চলিবে. You must be obedient to the head of the center and always obey and follow what he asked you to do. Then you will get mental peace. He wrote it 3 times. But Maharaj, why are you repeating these things? I am repeating so that it will penetrate in that brahmachari's mind. Later on I heard from that brahmachari, he says, really, I had a hard time with the head Swami. I was not very happy at all. But I could not write to Swami clearly what was in my monastic life. I used to think about it. So I discovered my way. You can establish 2 kinds of relationship. Personal relationship and official relationship. Personal relationship is very smooth, that good understanding, so that there is no... Always remember, 75% human problem develops from misunderstanding, lack of communication. I do not trust you, and you do not trust me. So it doubts and doubts increase, and later on we burst. People do not know how to be frank. I remember once in Hollywood I was interviewing a lady. She was very, very tight. I said, do you have anybody in your life whom you can open your heart and talk? No, Swami. At least you have one person in your life. No, Swami. Because somebody may exploit me or somebody may take advantage of me, I cannot open my heart to everybody. I cannot then you open your heart to Sri Ramakrishna. He is a good man. He will not exploit you, he will not do any harm to you. And the official relationship is, you are my boss, you tell me what to do, I shall do, remaining time is mine. Only 5-6 hours if I work, that's enough. Remaining time, mine. I shall study, I shall meditate, I shall do research, that's all. But ashram work which you have given to me, I shall do it very quickly. That is official relationship. A senior monk, he was a general secretary, I shall not mention his name. See, he was asking Maharaj, are you getting sufficient sleep? Yes, what sleep I get, that is enough. Maharaj, could you tell me how you pass your whole day? Remember, sometimes in old age you will come, how will you pass your day? You are physically not capable. You see, do you know how it works? Swami Saradeshananda told Swami Nikhilananda, hello young man, what will you do in old age? Maharaj, I love to work. Perhaps you are physically incapable. You cannot do any physical work. How will you pass your days? Study, so that you can maintain your higher level. Your thoughts will go in higher plane. Studying the scripture, studying Ramakrishna, Vivekananda literature. Suppose you are physically incapable and you are blind. How will you pass your days? Learn how to meditate, so that you can think of God. Then he is telling, সারাদিন শুয়ে কীভাবে কাজ সাধু শুয়ে কীভাবে কাটে I listen, my attendant reads scriptures to me, gospel to me, and I eat, and it's just daily routine. I have seen in Belur Math, there are some, we have a retirement home, old sadhus lying down, some brahmacharis, young monks come and read to them gospel or any books, scripture, Gita. They only listen. So these old monks share their experiences and they read. That way, they reciprocate each other. Very good system. But in America, I went to Delmar Garden West, retirement home. Many retired people live there, I saw, we have a devotee there, so I used to go and see her time to time. I saw one woman, Sunday newspaper, she is cutting that there are some things which are for sale in discount. When my children will come, I shall give these things to them. I was watching. Where is the mind of this old lady? Do you know what is the problem? No spiritual background. In old age does not come on the heaven. মহারাজ রুচিন ছাড়া বাকি সময় আমার মতো থাকি উইথ I follow my daily routine. Other times I live in my own way. That is my very personal. I have my very personal method. Then the monk asks, I want to know that one. What is your personal method? the Swami Saradeshananda. যতক্ষণ পারি জপ তপ ধ্যান স্মরণ মনন করি, as far as possible, I practice my japa and meditation and recollected this. You know, these people are blessed. Served Holy Mother 6 years, lived with her. You don't need any meditation. Your mind will automatically go to the Mother. সবসময় তো I cannot practice japa and meditation all the time. So I think about the Leela of divine play of Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. And that gives me so much bliss, and I am carried by that bliss. Don't talk about all those things. He wanted to change this subject. I want to tell you three things. Listen carefully. ব্রহ্মচারীদের ট্রেনিং সেন্টারের উন্নতি করো। You are the General Secretary. Try to improve the training center of the young brahmacharis. Even all brahmacharis of the Ramakrishna Maharaj, 2 years they will have to stay in Belur Math, in the training center. Improve it. Bring good teachers. You see, these young monks will be the future of the Ramakrishna Order. They should be well trained. That is said. Second, there should be a district taking Kamarpukur and Jarambaji, a spiritual district, Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother birthplace. Third, in Delhi, the capital of India, our work in 3 ways: cultural, educational, and medical. This is the way in the city we shall maintain our centers. Sadhu. মহারাজ আপনি কাজকর্মের কথা বলছেন, এখন তো নিষ্কর্ম ভাব আসছে, সব ছেড়ে ছুড়ে চুপছে। মহারাজ ইউ আর টকিং অ্যাবাউট ওয়ার্ক নাও, so much work. Sometimes I feel I shall just retire from the activities and go to seclusion. মহারাজ কর্মহীনতা মানে জানবে নৈষ্কর্ম নয়। Not to work doesn't mean Noshkarma means actionless. A news editor came to Vivekananda to interview and ask a question: what is the duty of a man? Swamiji says, duty of a man is not to do anything. My goodness, you started Ramakrishna Math mission and all these activities. Now you are telling the duty of a man is not to do anything. I have told you the truth. We are the Atman. There is no action there. Action is all in the domain of Maya, in the dualistic plane. So you are telling, কর্মটা নৈষ্কর্ম নয়, মা মনুষ্মর যুদ্ধ চ. Krishna mentioned in the Gita, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yuddha cha mayarpita manobuddhir mamai ishvachi asamshayam. He says, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, therefore, all the time, war, fight, work, and Mahamanusmara, think. First think of me and then fight. Think of me and fight. Not fight and think of me, no. Krishna first says, first think of me and then fight. That is it. But then do you know what will happen? Mayarpita manobuddhir. Thus, when your mind and buddhi will be settled in me, you will reach me. Mamanusmateya. Ar Sthutusmi Gato Sandeho Kurishya Bhajanam Tabu. It is towards the end of the Gita, when whole Gita was done, teaching was done, given to Arjuna. Arjuna says, Nashto Moha Smitir Labdhva Kurishye Bachanam Taba. Nashto Moha. Moho, my delusion is gone. Smritir Labdha, I got back my memory. Kurishye Bachanam Taba. I shall Sthitosmi Gata Sandhyo. I am now established and my all doubts are gone. I shall do whatever you say. Smriti Labdha, I got my smriti. Tat Prasadat Mayachyuta. Hey Krishna, by your grace, I got my memory. I am established now, my doubts are gone, and I shall do whatever you ask me to do. He was denying to fight. Now he says, I shall fight. Bole Bachanam Tavo, your words, what is that one? That you will have to realize yourself. Then that monk, Janasejara said, Maharaj, sometimes evening I cannot go to the shrine. I go to the lawyer's house in Calcutta to consult various things of the mission. And people criticize me. Maharaj, don't listen to them. No great religious movement spread without the help of the king or the government. Christianity, crusade, in England. You see, you know, in England, if the king and queen become Christian, all people will be Christian. But those days are gone. If the king and queen become Christian, all people will be Christian. So, he says that Rashakti, we need the power of the government. Our order is very small and it is just the beginning. And we have so many obstacles, rules, regulations. We need government help. For the work for the master, you will have to do these things. That is nothing wrong. But moreover, even not going for your personal thing. Job then, you try to do as much as you can. And if you do not have time, when you get up your bed, think of the master. And when you go to bed, think of the master. But that will be enough. Maharaj, I have a desire that I shall take you from Vrindavan to Calcutta, Belur Math. I have a desire that I shall take you to Belur Math. Seeing you, the young generation will learn. You are a role model, ideal monk. It's a life in his past life. Swami, I cannot change my size in my bed and you want to take me to Belur Math. No, not possible. Then when he requested again, Ami to mothei achi, I am in the monastery. I am not outside. Do you think I am outside the mott, outside Sri Ramakrishna's circle? But Maharaj, he is a patwari, it is all you are deluging us with your words. Now, enough I talked, now you can go. Then the General Secretary was telling his attendant, you make him agree to Balloon Math. I shall take Maharaj by plane. From Delhi to Vrindavan to Delhi 80 miles by car. And Delhi to Calcutta, 2 hours flight. But I shall take him to plane. So when Maharaj left, this brahmachari, Onup, he went to Maharaj. Maharaj, let us go to Belur Math and visit. Then Maharaj told him, if I go to Belur Math, he will not be able to serve me. Moreover, your training center is due, long due, because you are serving me, they exempted, you are going to training center. The moment you will go to Belur Math, they will put you into training center, you will not be able to serve me. Then he wanted to serve Swami, so he said, he never requested him to go to Belur Math. A devotee came and told Maharaj, during the puja time, I shall bring my wife and children to meet you. But don't say that. Say, we shall try. Otherwise, you will be deviate from the truth. That is the style of the Brahmos. Do you know what do they say? If you ask anybody, I shall try. Never say, I shall do. So there is a story there. There is a man, Hiramba Maitra. They want to be very truthful. So he was going through the street, so a young man asked him, could you tell me what is that movie house? I don't know. A young man is going to movie, it is immoral, you see. They are very Puritan type of people. I don't know. Then he went further. Then he says, I lied. I know that movie house. So again, quite a distance, again he ran back to that young man. Hello, young man. I know, but I shall not tell you. Funny. I know, but I shall not tell. Maharaj says, that couple, they could not come. A brahmachari newly joined in the monastery in Vrindavan. So the day Sunday perhaps is closed, the hospital. So whole day he went to Holy Mother's cottage, where Holy Mother stays in Vrindavan, Kalababu's Kunjo. There he stayed there whole day. So Maharaj was looking for him. So when he returned, he asked, when he was practicing 8 hours, 10 hours meditation, Maharaj was telling him, listen, young man, in one day, if you eat 10 days food in one day, what happens? You're going to digest that food. 10 days food you are eating once, so that you will not have to eat 10 days. It will not work. That way your health will not improve either. It will be harmful. Similarly, in spiritual life, do not practice japam and meditation according to your whims, whimsical. Whims. Oh, today I shall 10 hours meditation. Your system will react. I sometimes give a Example. Suppose if I ask you, could you lift 500 pounds weight first day? You can't. 500 pounds in the Olympic, you can see. Our Alexei in Russia, he lifted 560 pounds. What do they do? Today, 200 pounds, 1 week 200 pounds. Then 225, 1 month. 250, 1 month. 300, 2 months. In this way, slowly, they increase the weight. That is the way you see the weightlifter goes. First day they cannot lift 560 pounds. For that reason, those who want to practice a spiritual life, you must have a routine life. At a limited time, that time I must sit in the shrine. A regular routine life is very important in the very beginning of a spiritual life. Some days you might have holiday or a special puja day or some kind of a special day. You can increase a little bit more, that is fine. If you really want to increase the time of japam and meditation, do it slowly. I am telling you for your good. Don't be hurt. There is another brahmachari, he was a very fickle-minded, always jokes and laughing and joking and all those things. Swami cautioned him, my boy, you will lose your seriousness. People will think you are a cheap joker, entertainer. People will not pay any attention, value to your words. Sometimes you make a one joke and it is all right, but all the time it will show that you are a fickle-minded person. I remember when there was one Swami, he used to in his lectures say joke after joke. Swami Prabhupada once told me, in your lecture, 1 or 2 jokes if you make, that is fine. Otherwise, do you know what will people think? That you are an entertainer. You want to making people happy, jokes. What will they carry in their home after hearing the lecture 1 hour? They will not carry the Thakur's mother's message. They will remember only the jokes. They will carry only the jokes. You know, these sadhus, how they train the monks. Another senior Swami, he was our General Secretary. He was staying in Vrindavan for some days. He used to come to Swami Saradeshananda every day and talk to him. So he was talking about the activities of the Ramakrishna mission. Then he was telling that we do not have any sufficient monastic workers, members, our expansion of the order, and we need more monks. He was telling. Maharaj, Swami Saradeshananda told him, whole world are hankering, waiting to get the message of Thakur Ma Swamiji. But most of your monks now engaged in our educational institutions, hospitals. These boys are all well educated. You will have to utilize these boys in the proper way. Then the General Secretary says, Maharaj, tell us how should you do? What shall we, Shuji proceed? First, build, train some good monks. Character building, very important. Good monks. I used to call 3 paw. Pavitra, Premik, Pandit. Pure, Pandit, scholarly, and Pavitra, Premik, and loving. Some are great scholars but no love, dry intellectuals. These 3 things must be there. If you practice, if you be really good sadhu, then name, fame, power, position, wealth, everything will come. At that time it will be difficult to hold those things. One monastery, 1, 2, 3, 4 monks, that is enough. It is not necessary to give lectures and advertisements and all those things. Just lead a good sadhu life. Then the ashrama will flourish. You know, in this connection I remember an example of Swami Shivananda, Mahapurush Maharaj. In his room there is one rose, yellow, in a flower vase on his table. And in the morning all monks would come to pay respect to him. He told all monks, "Hey, look, this one flower, one, captured the whole atmosphere of this room through its beauty and fragrance." So in the monastery, if there is one genuine monk, real sadhu, lives, he attracts people. He will attract people. You see, spirituality has a magnetic power. To see this sadhu, people come from all over the world. And he is lying down in his bed. From America, from different countries, people would go to see him. He is not lecturing. Just he lives his life. সাধু জীবন আশ্রম থেকেই জমে যায়. A real sadhu, he will make the place lively, vibrant. And sometimes it's a little singing, a festival, and talk about Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and spread their message. Do not seek name, fame. Do not show yourself. Some people, I gave lecture. Do you know Premananda's story? A monk went to give a lecture and said, "Maharaj, I gave a fantastic lecture. So many people came, pin drop silence, this and that." Then Baburam Maharaj said, he knew that monk is very egotistical, no? "Let me ask you, did they hear your lecture with 1 ear or 2 ears?" "I think 2 ears, Maharaj." "No." Then he entered through 1 ear and he went to the other. He could not get what you said. Then he said, if you would hear with 1 ear, then he could keep the teachings. Then he told a funny story. In every country, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law fight. So the mother-in-law told her son, the mother told her son, "Your wife does not pay respect to me, quarrel with me, you must punish your wife." "Yes, mother." Then he said, "Mother, at night you will listen how I punish my wife." So the son and the wife, they went to bed, and he whispered to the ear of his wife, "You know, my mother complains against you, and I shall blow on the pillow and you cry. Then my mother will hear from outside." So he was hitting the pillow, and you cry a little bit. So she was crying, and next day the son told his mother, "Mother, did you notice how I punished my wife last night?" Sri Ramakrishna's disciples used to tell all these funny stories to remove the ego of the monks. Don't be egotistic. Funny story. Mic bajiye, loud speaker, advertisement, patra, potrika chapiye. These things are not necessary. Just lead a life. Look what Thakur said. The bees know where is the honey. If a flower blooms in the Jain forest, the bees go there and they sip the honey. The flower does not advertise, "Come, I have honey, come, I have honey." But the bees know where is the honey. The way Thakur said that thing, where is the honey? Where is real spirituality? আমাদের সঙ্গের সেন্টারগুলো ডিস্ট্রিবিউশনের কোনো ঠিক বলে আমার ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন অফ দি সেন্টার্স are not well done. Foreign countries leave it. কেবলমাত্র একটা প্রদেশে 1/3 centers and the monastic energy are only concentrated in West Bengal. Baki Pradesh, and there are some provinces, there is no center at all. At the same time, people are eager to hear Sri Ramakrishna and Swamiji's message. Make a few educational centers, they will be the ideal centers for the whole country. Instead of increasing too many centers, try to preach Thakur Swamiji's ideas. Whole world is hungry to get Thakur's message. Like a chatok bird. You keep 20-25 monks in one center in educational institution. It should be well distributed. Now, really speaking, now we have 258 centers. We are trying to spread center of all the provinces of India and the foreign countries. We are really spread. Previously, I remember in 60s, 70s, they're very conservative. They will not open a center. Because they said we want quality, not quantity. Quality. Otherwise, you started many centers, but you do not manage well. It should not be. That was the oldest. New school says, let us spread. Let us see. First thing is this, we need good monks. That needs good training. I remember in 1977, when I first met him in Vrindavan, I was then in Hollywood. He was asking, "What do you do in America?" Uncle Maharaj, we teach Vedanta and just help people to lead their spiritual life, how to practice meditation, this and that. These are the things we teach. Then he said, teach the American people to build their family life well. I hear so many divorces, children from broken family, they suffer so much. Ask those parents to love their children. The way he said, I said, here is an old monk in late 80s in Vrindavan, thinking about the American family life. So that if there is a peace and joy in family life, that brings stability in the society. Family life. If the family life is shaky, the whole society is shaky. In America, 50% marriage ends in divorce. Shaky. That he was talking about. I said, what kinds of people come? Well, Swami, some American people come, they are very good middle class family, some rich people also, poor people, but mainly middle class, steady people. They are gentlemen. Yeah, then they will think that we are doing good work. Sometimes you remember in 60s, so many yogis, gurus, babas, 70s. Oof, transcendental meditation, there is Guru Maharaj, there is Kundalini Yoga, this 3H organization, health, happiness and holiness. First eat well, then have a good, happy life, and then if any energy left, holiness, you know. So many organizations. Where are they now? Really? Uri power there. Our friends used to tease us. We sent some learned monks of the Ramakrishna Ashram to the West. We do not see your name in the newspaper. And all the yogis, gurus, babas, they are in the front page. What is the matter? Then I quote John Hagee. He is an evangelist in Texas, Austin, Texas. He has 4 lungs. The way he talks, very powerful. 4 lungs. John Hagee. A big man. I love that person. He has such conviction and he speaks with such emphasis. I like him. He said, 95% people are good in this world. 5% people are bad. There are 5% people's news you will find in the newspaper. You are a good person, your name is not in the newspaper. If you do something wrong, then you will be in the newspaper. So funny. Just lead a good life. Watching you, some people will come and try to be attracted to Thakur, Ma, Swamiji, their beautiful ideal. I sometimes say, I may not be a great monk, but the ideal, the spiritual tradition we carry, super, best, aqua flawless, stainless, no hanky-panky business. Aqua purest form of spiritual tradition we carry. That is Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swamiji. You know, parivarik jivan in the West now, they are like mechanized life. Shh. This mechanized life, people become like animal type of, You see, there is difference between man and animal. Aha, nidra, moithun, bhoy. We eat, animals eat. We sleep, the animals sleep. We beget children, animals beget children. And we have fear, animals have fear. In these four aspects, there is no difference between man and animal. Dharmena hina poshubi samana. Gyanena hina poshubi samana. Dharma. You human beings can practice dharma. Animal beings cannot practice dharma. Knowledge. Only human beings can have knowledge of Brahman, God. Animal beings cannot have that knowledge. So this is the place, the difference between man and animal. অন্যদেশে ঠাকুরের ভক্তরা মা বাবা ভাই বোনদের সঙ্গে those who are devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, they have love, respect for the brothers, sisters in the family. They have a very cohesion, very well connected and feelings for others. He was talking about that if we have a spiritual background, how things change. All right, up to this tonight. Sthapakaya cha dharmaisya sarva dharma sarupine avatara varishthaya Ramakrishnaya te namo. Jai Thakur.
That verse from the Gita at the beginning, that first, think of me, then work. What verse is that?
Tasmat sarveshu bham, 8-7. Chapter 8, verse 7. 8-7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anushmara juddhacha. Think of me, then fight. Eight, 7. Jai Ma. Thank you, Usha.